people want to know how to bring pollinators to their backyard. They want to know how to grow their own food. They want to know how to do that without using chemicals, and to turn their lawn into something beautiful that will attract birds. So people all over are doing that. But why don't we hear about it? It's a really interesting question. And I think that it concerns me that, well, on one hand, it disempowers us. On the other hand, it neglects a huge part of the global population. Whereas if we look at, because it's all people sitting at their desks in the developed world, we have to pressure our governments. Yes, we have to. But there are people all over the world, like the people in China, who were planting trees, building terraces, changing the way that they manage their livestock, that can be invited into the process, as opposed to disenfranchised, as many of these people are disenfranchised in other ways. However, this is very context dependent. I know I've reported in Zimbabwe where the best use of the land is for rangeland to raise cattle. And this is deep into people's cultures. And so, who are we again in the developed world that have, all sorts of choices at the grocery store to tell people what they should and shouldn't do? Also, I think it's really important. Anyway, it's a manifestation of our disconnection from the land, that we want to think that food, nobody wanted a book about soil except for my publisher. Now that's different. People have awakened to soil. But I think the thing is that it just what we often miss the whole choreography of nature. So that animals have an impact on the land, and that impact can be negative or positive depending on how those animals are managed, and also understanding the different kinds of landscapes. So I live in a very wet environment, that there's rain, there's moisture in the soil all throughout the year, whereas much of the world's land is what we call brittle, which means that there's a dry season and a rainy season. And I learned the importance of animals on the landscape managed appropriately to keep those landscapes alive. Invite people in. I would pay attention to the fact that this is the UN decade on ecosystem restoration, and to broaden their understanding of how climate interacts with biodiversity and with water, and to explore and to trust that nature has its own logic, and we can ally with that logic in all kinds of beautiful and ultimately empowering way, and that we need you.